All right. Spanky, you're live.
Hey!
What's going on to the apparently 4 people who are here
Come
on
on!
Renix P sale for this little practice live? What's going on, Lucky and Imaginism? Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know in the little chat feature down there if the audio and video is coming off okay. This is my first time ever streaming from this computer from our basement setup. So it's a little bit of a wild card. Feel free to drop any like questions or got a little bit of a time loop here that we're gonna need to break. Looks like we've got Phoenixresal in the chat, real bigwig.
What a chump.
Jera Palomares, good to see you. Shah Boinky. Baja Blastoise Noah, what's going on? You can see right now we are mid Amazon batch, sending off some good old handhelds like we pretty much always do. Any qualms with the quality? Let me see if we can get this get a little bit less ceiling. That's probably a little bit more optimal in terms of framing. I'm gonna have to download some sort of like a driver or like some software. I don't really want to do OBS that will allow me to actually adjust the settings on the camera, because I feel like that'll be helpful. Maybe getting a lamp or two over here will be good too. Zach, good to see you here. The Discord right now, I'm not really publicizing this, but I'll go ahead and tell you, I actually made it free recently because I've been putting so much into our little, behind the scenes project that I didn't have enough to put into it that I felt good charging for it. Chris, great to meet you. Appreciate seeing you there. Alexander, thanks so much. Let's see, okay. This is definitely a feature that I'm going to have to use. So the reason for the practice live stream is that later this week on Phoenixresal, the big time channel, the goal is to be able to do like an unboxing live stream with like Q&A and interactions and everything. Cause like, it's been a long time since I've done an actual live. The last lives that I did were like just streaming Pokemon on the Switch. All right, about 50 people in here now. So that's something that I'd like to get back into somewhat regularly, like if it goes well and if it's fun, and just be able to get a little bit more actual interaction. Riff says he needs a race. He is always yapping about that. Don't listen to him. What are we talking about today? It's up to you, Brooke. Drop some questions in here, and we'll any hot topics, any controversial issues, hot takes that you would like me to share. I'm game. Appreciate you, Switch Plays. Greetings from Scotland. Got a little global audience here of all my fellow deadbeats who have nothing better to do at 1 p.m. on a Wednesday afternoon than hop into a Renix P sale live stream. Yeah, I'm talking about you too, Spanky.
I have nothing better to do.
What's your favorite game? At this point, it would be God of War Ragnarok. Dreamcast collection trying to sell as a whole. What should I do? I don't really have the time to sell it piece by piece. So, funny thing that I just noticed. I was going through the upload defaults on this channel, and apparently not only does it still have the old email that we don't use for deals anymore, but that email is misspelled. So I have no idea how many people have tried to reach out to us to sell collections just by copying and pasting the email that probably got a no email address found error. Who knows how much money us and our audience have lost as a result of that little mistake in true Renix P sale fashion. I was like, that is about right for this channel. But to answer your question, we've got a new email. I'll type it in the chat here. deals@shopphoenixresal.com. That if you've got stuff to sell, you can hit us up there. That's where people have been requesting our buy list and stuff like that. So if you're interested, you can hit us up there. And that is, let's see, is it properly spelled? Yes, it is. And most likely you will be corresponding with Spanky. He checks that pretty much every day. And we should be able to get back to you. Although I will tell you right now, we're not buying a lot of Dreamcast. If it's a large collection, we do have another buyer that we could potentially refer you to who's known for paying fair. With a large Dreamcast lot, depending on what's in it, you can probably expect like maybe 40 to 50% of price charting value would be a pretty fair offer. So if that interests you, hit us up, and if we can't buy it, then we'll refer you to someone who can. Happy for everything you've accomplished over the past few years. God bless. Appreciate that, Josh. I actually heard recently that someone was describing, I think it was Alex Hormozy, a paradigm for vetting friends. And he said that a good friend will do two things. One is genuinely root for you when you win, and two is make you better. And if you can find someone that even does one of the two, they're probably worth your time. So appreciate your support and you rooting for us over here. You're a true friend, Josh.
Wow.
Have you ever played Pikmin? And if so, what do you think? I've never played it. It's not the kind of game that I see and I'm like, oh, I need to try that. But I know a lot of people really love it. I'm not a huge fan normally of like time-based puzzlers. I know it's like kind of a puzzle adventure game, so maybe I'd like it. I don't know. From Manchester, what's your top selling game / console by money / unit / amount? I actually, that's a great question. I'm curious if you guys can guess. I will put on the screen the first person to guess what our top selling game is by number of units sold.
Oh, by number of units?
By number of we'll go like number of units, and maybe I'll sort by amount too and see if it's different.
Oh, I thought you meant they had to guess the amount. Okay.
You have to guess the game. Okay, Shaw is saying a 3DS console. If you combined all 3DS consoles, that would probably be the winner. But I'm looking for a specific game. Going to my top performers over here. In terms of ordered units, yep, it sure is. Well, I'll take one of two answers. We have guesses of Pokemon, a little bit vague there. Tetris Game Boy, we do buy a ton of those and sell a ton as well. Mario Kart Wii, Ben for the win, is actually our number 4. So you're on the right track. Pokemon Emerald, I wish. This is number of units sold. Uh-oh, the Clash 603 has got it. Wii Sports. There actually are a couple of listings for it, but if you combine them, that is our best-selling game. There's another one, though, that is up there that is currently technically ranked at number 1. Mario Kart Switch. We don't sell a ton of Switch games. Not seeing it yet, but Zach in the game, super chat, appreciate you. I can finally give you money now. I like money. Appreciate that, Zach. Keep up the good work. Why don't you use the custom Switch spines anymore? That's a good question. So you may have seen I'm guessing that was triggered from the last video that we posted, that in which I featured the games from my previous collection. The biggest reason is like the collection is growing so often that I don't want to reorder Switch spines like every month or so. Once the collection is finished and I'm like pretty much good with what we have in the Switch collection, then I may go back to reorder the spines because I really do like how they look. That's also a good Renix P-Sale deep cut. I can tell that you're watching consistently if you remember that one. That was, I don't know, 6 months ago or something, so appreciate you, Zach. I need Little Red Riding Hood Zombie Barbecue for the DS. That's one that I think I've only ever purchased once. That's pretty uncommon, isn't it? New Super Mario Bros. Wii. What's up, Fiabenda? Good to see you in here. It's been a little bit since we've chatted, but yes, that is our currently technically ranked, since there's only one listing for that one. In the last 30 days, we've sold 60 of them. 60. And I'm pretty sure... okay, we do have some in stock right now. Looks like we've got a few of them in stock, but we always need more of those. That's why we pay so well for them on our buy list. I think we pay like $22 right now or something like that, because they, we don't make a ton of money, but they just don't stop selling. Big Cheese, good to have you in here as well. Spanky, what's your favorite unit to list?
Game, period?
Yeah, like anything.
Probably a GameCube game.
Okay. He likes the GameCube. I'll give you guys a little glimpse of him over here if I can. Uh-oh, we're going mobile. He's inspecting our relatively sparse shelf over there. You guys got to send us more stuff that we can prep and list. That is how we've been doing the majority of our acquisitions these days, is just like deals with viewers. So that's been really satisfying. What are you thinking?
Probably like a Mario Party game for the GameCube, or Pokemon White version 2.
I probably could have done, if you would have given me 100 guesses, I don't know if I would have guessed those. So I'm glad I asked.
I think it's so aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, Mario Party, I like the art on those. Okay, I'm hopping back to get a little bit more current with the chat. Stopping in before heading to London in a few hours. Wow, congrats. Have you seen the Polyworld full art in 151? I have. And also a viewer sent us the Japanese version. It's somewhere. Here it is. Right up on our little shelf here. They sent us as a gift. So appreciate that. I don't remember what your name was, but it has. Do you remember?
No.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks at this point. But if you're in here, we appreciate you. Eternal Darkness is fire. Watching you from Germany. All right, the global audience going hard. Got a box going out to you from Jera. Appreciate that. Can't wait to dig into it. Or for Spanky to dig into it, more likely. Looking to start my own e-commerce site for a small business. Why did you go with Shopify over the competition? Seems more expensive than others. So a big benefit of Shopify, I mean, full transparency, we primarily started that store because they wanted to have a long-term sponsor relationship. But I wouldn't have gone with them if it didn't also make sense. Like, as far as I know, and I'm pretty sure this is the case across the board, they have no, like, final value fees on goods sold, which is crazy to me. Like, coming from the eBay world, and especially the Amazon world, where you're paying 15+% on every item you sell, to be able to, like, yeah, they might have higher store fees, but if you're selling a good amount of inventory, that's kind of negligible if you're able to pay 0% on however much volume you're selling. That was why we went with it. But appreciate the question. If you have any other clarifications, I'm happy to, because we've at this point probably sold, I don't know, maybe like 10 or 15K worth of wholesale lots on there. We're not doing it as much recently because we're trying to, like, we're buying a lot less collections, you may have noticed. Collections, like, as long as we can stay stocked with stuff that people are sending us from the buy list, that's kind of the optimal outcome for us, just because that's all stuff that we know we can sell on Amazon easily. And anytime we buy a collection, we have to sort, like, here's what's going to Amazon, here's what maybe we'll do wholesale, maybe we'll put some stuff for whatnot. And then recently we've been doing a lot of trades with game stores. We actually just last week filmed a video about a trade with a video game store that we've just been using that as a way to get the kind of inventory that we want. Any advice on handling eBay returns as a broke college student who doesn't have cash on hand? The cicada. I would say, like, put a pause on your buying until you can build up a relatively safe level of padding so that you can handle any return without really worrying about it. If you're selling mostly like $15 or $20 items, that might only be $100. If you're selling more expensive stuff, maybe it's $500. But I would definitely get yourself like a little safety net of funds so that you don't really have to worry too much about that. I highly recommend that as a general principle anyway, because you don't want to be short on cash flow in this business. You want to have plenty of funds available as quickly as you possibly can. Obviously, if you're just starting out, that's easier said than done. But what that means, how you get there, is you limit the number of things, the scope of things that you're willing to buy until that cash gets healthier. Meaning, say you're selling clothing, maybe right now you're picking up anything that you can make at least $10 profit on. Narrow that temporarily to only $20+ profit, that will naturally help you earn that money faster, and you'll be spending less because you'll be buying less things. And then once you have a solid cash position of, say, $500, then maybe you can buy more broadly again, and start going a little bit wider, since now you have the cash to handle it. Does that make sense? Let me know if I can provide any more clarity there. Give me your facial hair jeans. Sam, I'm going to share a secret with you.
You can buy them.
You kind of can. Do you remember when you met me, Spencer, that I couldn't grow facial hair?
No, not until I started working here.
That's not the kind of thing you'd necessarily remember when first meeting someone. But we met each other 10 years ago, and at that time was right when I was starting. I don't know, this is a weird thing to share online. But I could not grow facial hair, and I always really wanted to. I was like, I think I'd look pretty sick with a beard. So I took this rabbit hole deep dive online and realized that there is an entire community of people that uses basically Rogaine, the hair loss medicine that you just like apply to your bald spot, every single day, twice a day, on their face to grow a beard. And I was like, is this safe? Is this a legit thing to do? And their entire, it's a whole community of people that were doing it. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. Did it every time I brushed my teeth, twice a day for literally 2 years, with a few, couple month breaks. And these are the results. Still not quite as full as I'd like it to be, but like, I wish I had the before pictures to share with you guys. It's really good. In fact, I'm going to go way back on my phone because you loyal P-Sailors are here, and I'm going to show you my before pictures if I can find them. I'm going to scroll all the way. Yes, the evidence is here. Look at this. Look at this handsome bloke. That's after,
oh, wow.
That's after multiple weeks of growing the beard out. And I took this picture as my before picture. I was like, if this works, this is going to be really cool to look back on. And check that stuff out. Consult your doctor first and everything. I'm not a medical professional, but
so do you have to retry it if you took it off? Or is it?
No, like so I haven't used it for like 6 years.
Wow.
Not using anymore. I'm clean. Anyways, we've gone in. If you're just joining us, we've gone down a little bit of a facial Rogaine rabbit hole. We'll get back onto reselling here. Catching up. If you asked a question earlier, I'm jumping to present in the chat, so you may have to ask it again. Just don't get spammy, or I will hit you with the ban hammer. A bizarre project. We literally have a box on the table next to us of Pokemon games to send out to you probably today for some battery replacements. So Q4 has been insane for you guys. That's really good to hear, because I've actually been hearing from a good number of both eBay sellers and like people who own physical video game stores that this month's sales have been slower than in typical October. I think largely due to macroeconomic factors. So I love hearing that you guys are crushing it. I use minoxidil and finasteride on my head, and it has legit saved my hair. Okay, so I said that I was off of the minoxidil. Now I'm just taking it in pill form, because now I actually need it for my hairline. So, how the turntables. Will you be visiting the Tour Gaming Expo in a couple weeks? I know Chase is going to be there, so I'm bummed I'm going to miss it. But I'm actually going to be in Florida that weekend. So if you've got a bunch of stuff to sell, bring it and sell it to them. They'll give you good numbers. Rogaine should be paying you. Yeah, I just sold like 15 bottles for them to facial hair. Spanky's about to go and buy 20.
Oh, I don't need it.
A bearded critic? No way. As a bearded fella, my advice is shave as frequently as you can. Doesn't matter how short it is. Just shave and your hair will grow out eventually. Is that actually true for everyone?
That's a wise.
I feel like that's an urban legend. Because there are people who do shave every day and still can't, like, I feel like the majority of Asian men I know would fall into that camp. You know, like they might shave every day, but it doesn't. You gotta. I feel like you have to have a little bit of an external stimulus. But again, I'm not a bearded critic. I'm a video game reseller. I don't know what I'm talking about. Do you guys like to repair consoles or sell for parts? No. Neither. We do not take consoles anymore. If we bought a huge collection, we would take them in, and literally, unless they were super clean and had all of the cords with them and everything, I would probably just take them in a big bin and sell them to a video game store locally. We don't really mess with them anymore because one thing that has really helped us scale up this year is going narrower and narrower and narrower in the kinds of things that we're willing to buy. We kind of have the luxury of choice with the network that we do have through the channel. So we're able to be like a little bit more narrow when a lot of people would have to go more broad. And like any good collection, like that's how I started out. Any good collection that I have the chance to buy at around half of market value, I'm going to do it no matter how much work it takes. But at this point, we don't have to do that anymore. If you're in that boat, I would highly recommend like the only time that I would ever spend repairing consoles is if you have literally nothing else that you can possibly do. You can't go out to source. You can't find new collections. I would just, if you have a place locally that will buy them for parts, mazel tov. If you have to just, pitch them, then that's better than wasting a bunch of your time when you could be doing more profitable activities. What up? I have so much inventory, but it's pretty much 75% shovelware from buying collections. Heard that. What is your advice to get the most return? I've been selling on Whatnot mostly with some eBay. Ryan, So one thing that we do with our shovelware is we keep the cases, keep some level of cases to be able to harvest and upgrade good games that we get in. So if you don't already have a good store of those, I would just take a lot of those games and put them in a stack for anytime you need a nicer case. And like, if the game's worth less than a few bucks, like I don't really like, I guess put it in like a disc only game lot and sell it on eBay that way with like 20 of them for 20 bucks or something like that. Otherwise you can like on Whatnot, especially you can make bundles of like 10 plus games of the same console. Oftentimes you'll only sell them for like $1 or $2 a piece on average. If it's in the buy it now though, like you might have better luck at getting a little bit more for them. Also, that's the kind of thing that we'll just put in huge stacks in big bins and sell to our local game store or regional game store if they want it. A lot of game stores do really well with lower dollar games. So especially with trading credit, I'd probably just try to trade up to like a few slightly underpriced gems and go from there. Ben for the win. Are you worried about the digital game market? I'm not right now. Like, I think that we kind of can see like people are buying really heavy games that were made 25, 30 years ago, right? Like we sell copies of Mario 2, Mario 3 for the NES all day long. So given that fact, I think that this market there will still be a collector's market for this stuff at some level for at least the next 30 years, even if tomorrow games go all digital. That said, I also just have a general perspective of like, we as resellers, we shouldn't be forecasters. We shouldn't be speculators. I think that we should be focused on adapting, right? Staying nimble with the market and being able to spot new opportunities when they come up rather than trying to predict what's going to happen. Are you only selling English games? Yes, we only take NTSC. If you weren't reselling video games, what other job would you be doing right now? Spanky asked me this last week, and I said I might try to be a commercial carpet cleaner in the evenings because one, it would be really easy to make content about and potentially grow the business, and two, I'm not the best with people, and so it'd be nice to just be able to go into a business after they're closed or before they're open, do a fairly satisfying job that like you can kind of see the results of before and after, gradually grow it into an agency where I'm just like contracting stuff out, and that would be my general. I feel like I would like actually doing the work. On the links tree still shows paid. I don't know if we have one publicly anymore. I'm trying to kind of keep it to only the people who are already in it. But Chris, if you shoot us an email, I'll get you the link. Uh-oh. Aaron says you're looking thick, Spanky. You might have to put a robe on or something. You're tempting everybody in the chat right now.
It is what it is.
Our last few shows were slow compared to Classic Games Fest. Something's going on in the economy because I've heard many stores in Dallas-Fort Worth are struggling too. I think like cost of living is just going up. Stuff's more expensive than it used to be. I don't know how much like fear of like recession is going to be a thing. I feel like people just have less disposable income, and games are probably one of the first things to go on. Like that's my best guess. I have been hearing similar things from like I was just at Portland Retro Gaming Expo, and a good number of those sellers were also kind of underwhelmed by their sales. That said, if you are in a position where you can give out like decent deals for below market prices and advertise that, you might have better luck with sort of like sale pricing strategy. If you're doing that though, you may also have to shore up your buy prices, right? The levels that you're buying games at. Kevin Kastner, wondering what advice you would give to a guy that has sports cards he wants to sell, small amount that was in his collection and currently buying more. I don't want to get messed up on taxes. If it was me, like I know that 99% of sports cards are not really worth anything. It's a lot of bulk. Like maybe you have a few gems in there. I would just take it to a sports card store. Like they're probably going to pay you relatively fair and you won't have to do any of the work. That's what I would do. More and more recently, especially if I was still like sourcing yard sales a lot, a big strategy I would have would be connecting with every sort of used resale shop in town that I possibly can. Not just video games, but we have in Lexington, we've got a vintage shirt store. We've got shoe stores that sell used stuff. We've got card shops. We've got toy stores. And I would be on the lookout for as much of that stuff as I could find at yard sales. I would only individually flip the video games myself because that's my niche. But anytime I could find something like for a decent enough price for a really low buy cost, like a tub of vintage toys, I would just buy it and flip it to them and do none of the work. That's a lot more where my mind is these days. That's not really the thrust of your question. But all that to say, if it were me, I would take it to a local card shop. Okay, I'm like 6 minutes behind right now on the chat. I'm going to jump to present again. People are broke now. A lot of people are. Have you played the new Spooderman game? No, I haven't. I probably should. I'm deep into Elden Ring right now, though, and I don't know if I can give up on that, but I do have to say, like, my motivation is waning. Like, after a long day at work where I'm, like, a little bit mentally spent, I don't really want to go, like, grind it out and get destroyed over and over again in Elden Ring. So we'll see how long that lasts. I work in finance, and a common thought in the middle class is the middle class is still doing okay. There's money out there to be spent. Just remember, there's a return to normalcy happening here post-COVID. Okay. So potentially, like, sales are just declining to a normal level would be the theory there. I'm interested if there are any store owners or vendors who could speak to, like, how their sales are comparing to pre-COVID numbers, not just the last couple of years. Because that would be the primary way to test that. You and Retro Rick, along with Pixel Game Squad, have been killing it the past few years. Thank you. Just want to say thanks for all the great content. So freaking entertaining. I'm glad that you feel that way, Tony. I'm trying to keep it entertaining. I don't know how long the upload schedule on the main channel is going to go down a little bit this next year, just to try to keep myself fresh and putting out the most quality stuff that I can, but I'm really glad you've been enjoying. While people have dollars now, they're spending them on things such as travel as well. Yeah, travel's so expensive, man. It's crazy. And especially now that we're in the holiday season, I wouldn't be surprised if people have been getting their plane flights and feeling a little bit light in the pocketbook. Any advice in running a business out of your home? Yeah, if there's any way that you can kind of segment it. Like, I think we have a much healthier balance now that we have half of the basement is the resale space, when before, like, it was our middle of 3 bedrooms in our last home, and the overflow affected like the main living space a lot more than it does now. We still have packages coming in and out the door all the time that like is a little bit of a remnant of the business, but the biggest thing is like if you have the luxury of like making physical boundaries that can help you stay away, like step away from work at the end of the day a little bit more easily. From the collabs you've done with other YouTubers, which one has been the most memorable? The one that sticks out in my mind as my favorite is when I was at Retro Rick's shop this last August, and we did a super late multi-bin trade-in that we were all just kind of delirious, and it's one of the goofiest videos that I've ever made. I'd highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. That's my favorite collab. Summon people or over level your character in Elden Ring will be easy. I've been doing a little bit of grinding for runes, and I still suck. Is today's economy hurting us? This has been a really good month for us on Amazon, man. Like, best ever. Partly because we're constantly refining our systems, right? So we're taking less and less stuff. More and more people are sending us stuff with the buy list. We're tinkering with our repricing settings to try to get more stuff sold. And, we've been really fortunate that we haven't really seen or experienced that dip at this moment. But, a lot of other people are. Bearded Critic says, if my house is on fire, other than my loved ones, what physical gaming item do you grab? What physical gaming item do I grab? I don't have a ton of stuff that's like from my actual childhood, so I can't think of a lot of stuff that couldn't be replaced. I honestly might just grab an arm load from this shelf that we have up here. Oh, jeez. This shelf up here. This is what I'm looking at right now. It's a lot of like stuff that we've been sent from viewers over the past, and like little trinkets, remnants from the channel and different videos that we've done. We've got Mr. Scrooge up there, a custom mission Switch thing from Retro Beard. So I'd probably just grab an arm load of that if I could. Hey, Rare and Classic, what's going on, AC? Poker rematch, it's happening, man. AC cleaned me out last time I was in Texas, and I have been sore about it ever since. Do you have any advice on a new seller with getting ungated and selling games on Amazon? Caden, I actually have a video that I made a while back that was on the main channel called How to Get Ungated in Nintendo that's still pretty relevant today. They kind of walks you through the process. Speaking from a wood shop here, our numbers have gone down a bit, but we're still higher than pre-COVID times. Let's go. Love to hear that. Game nothing one share. Do you ever plan on making other types of content not related to reselling or game hunting? I've toyed with the idea. I don't think I would do that probably, I don't know. I do know that, the shelf life of the average YouTuber is not that long. I think 7 years is, the average successful YouTuber will do this. I'm in year 4 right now. So statistically, I've got less life ahead of me than behind me. That said, if I stopped, would I necessarily go to something else? Would I keep doing YouTube, but in a different way? I've had great channel ideas. For example, I think I'd have a lot of fun, helping other people build their channels in having some live channel roasts or something like that. Trying to gain new skills and documenting the process over a course of a few months. I don't really see anyone else doing that. They'll take a week and try to learn a skill. I think it'd be really cool to take a more complex skill and document it over a long haul. Just a couple of random channel ideas. I had an idea for a family vlog channel in which nobody ever speaks to the camera. It's like the camera is set up in the room and you just go about your day. It'd almost be like an anti-family vlog channel, and you get to hear like people wouldn't even necessarily be facing the camera, like it's just like over dinner or washing the dishes or like whatever, and you just clip together the bits that are actually kind of interesting. I feel like that'd be refreshing for folks. I've got all kinds of channel ideas. I just will almost certainly never do them. I am not loyal to any toilet paper brand. None of them has really won me over.
Toilet paper?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me know if there's one that sticks out.
Are you guys Angel Soft or Charmin people? Okay, I'm going to start experimenting with some of these features.
Hang on, while we're on toilet paper, does anybody buy the Costco Ultra Soft Purple? I get the Costco regular, and it's okay, but it's cheaper than anything else.
You're considering upgrading to the purple.
Yeah, if it's a worthy upgrade.
All right, folks, Spanky is in desperate need. This is an example of a banner. Click to show the banner on screen. That's cool. So let's try creating a banner. Add the banner. Hey. Deals. Buy list. There's an actual useful banner. And maybe that'll come up. Let's try going back to comments. Oh my gosh, we've gotten 18. Ace donated in some other currency, it looks like. Oh, from Saudi Arabia. Appreciate that.
KSA.
What's KSA? Uh-oh.
Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
KSA representing. Appreciate you. I don't know how much.
Real.
I don't know how much SAR 25 is, but appreciate it.
Oh, not much.
But now let's see.
Is it that one right there?
It does come back. That's cool. Yeah, that one went out. But it's all right. We're getting a little cozy together here, folks.
Okay. No candlelight or anything?
It honestly might look a little bit better. What do you guys think? I'm trying to find people's feedback on okay, someone says Charmin. The Clash says a bidet will change your life.
Not getting a bidet.
Yeah, I think I would like it. I'd probably like it. Wanted to reach out with a Q. When it comes to reselling, how do you think eBay, PayPal, Venmo, etc. tax threshold of $600 and how you prepare for quarterly/annual taxes? I have a CPA. And we pay taxes on the stuff we sell. Like, I don't really try to skirt much of that. I do try to minimize my taxable obligations, but not maximize my evasions, if that makes sense. Is it better to sell a GBA SP alone, or should I bundle it with my leaf green, or sell both separately? Selling separately will almost always be the better solution to maximize your profits. Bundling is just a way to save time, I guess, but you will have to take a little bit of a cut, because like, why would someone ever buy them together when they can buy separate and have more freedom of choice of condition and seller and stuff like that? You have to give them an incentive to buy them together, and that incentive will have to take the form of a discount. Would you recommend using the buy list email if I wanted to ask you a personal question about a weird mole on my back?
No.
Spanky's the one that actually answers that, and he's not too much of a fan. Okay, we talked about that. Let's jump to present if we may. How is the buy list going? Has it made life much easier? What would you say, Spanky?
Oh, it's the best it's ever been.
We're definitely having more submissions than usual, or than we started with, which has been awesome. And the biggest way it's making my life easier is having to go to fewer conventions. That hasn't really, like, so far I haven't felt the effect of that, but next year I'm going to go to like half the conventions that I did this year, and it's going to be so nice. I don't actually like travel that much. So that's going to feel good, just to have more inventory coming to us rather than having to travel for it all the time. Post more on Phoenix. I'll try. 75 SAR equals 25 USD. Yeah, that's the kind of conversion that I am way too dumb to actually figure out for any normal amount. But thank you so much for the redonation.
Like $8.
Is that what that is? I believe you.
He's at 25 SAR?
No, 20. No, 75 equals.
Yeah, but how much did he send?
50.
Oh, so like 30.
No, it'd be like
17.
No, I think it'd be
75 SAR.
It'd be it'd be 2/3 of 20.
75 SAR is 25.
So that'd be like 13-ish.
Where's it?
Dollars? Yeah, 75.
Oh, 20. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's like 13. Nothing but the utmost intelligence here at RenXP Sale.
We got it figured out.
How many resellers does it take to figure out a basic currency conversion?
Google.
When are you shaving the beard? The mustache just isn't the same. Meaning that you like just the mustache better? Because if so, you would be in agreement with my wife, which is weird. Like, most people in our small group are like, either they're like neutral or negative about the mustache. Erica likes it, so she gets it for most of the year. I kind of like having a beard for the winter, though. It's a little bit nice. Easier to maintain. Could have a Wii on your HD TV and GameCube on the CRT so you can play GameCube games. Either way, since we can be set for widescreen. Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. Pure GFX, appreciate you. How's business in the winter? On the selling side, it's great. Acquisitions are a little bit harder. One, because there aren't as many video game conventions. Two, because like travel in general, like if it's snowy, is a little bit harder. So a lot of people go a little bit more heavy on the like online arbitrage side during these months, especially with Black Friday deals and stuff going on. I'm seeing less success with that personally, given the number of Amazon sellers that are out there now. And because like we get the best premiums on stuff that's not really in current circulation at stores.
Did you want me to send that to the Bazaar project?
No. If a Bazaar project is still in here, I am curious. Do you guys do screen repairs on Game Boys at all? This one is not. This one we won't. This is just. I don't know why someone sent us this. You guys let me know. Does this DS Lite seem like it's in 9 out of 10 condition or better? Especially given that it's got a significant screen defect. No shade if you sent this in to us. No, we appreciate the business, but this is not something that we don't buy stuff for parts. I will go to sleep now. Please upload more, Caleb. Appreciate that so much, Ace. Thank you for your continued support. What'd you say?
Send these to them.
Oh, Abazar's still in here. I do, but avoid it. I have a huge bin to work on already. All right, we won't burden you with those. I don't know what we're gonna do with those then. We've got 3 like original Game Boys that need their screens replaced. So if anyone does those, and wants a batch for us to send in, let me know what your costs are on that, or what you charge. Most profitable single item flip. I bought back when graded games were doing well. I bought a sealed Wolverine on the NES for I think $1,250. got it graded, and sold it very quickly for either 55 or 6,500. And it was off platform too, so I didn't have to pay many fees. It was killer. Definitely the best flip ever. Although at the time, if I would have mentioned that on social, boy, I would have gotten lampooned. Is that a word? Harpooned? Lambasted? I don't know.
National Lampoon is a word.
The DSs, especially with the bad hinges, I call it my bin of floppy boys. Yeah, luckily, I don't think we've been sent one of those. People actually filter for those pretty well. I did the solder fix on an original Game Boy with the lines in the screen. DS stuff I wouldn't mess with. Yeah, that's part of why we don't do anything really for parts. Can you visit Retro Rick again? He's like 11-hour drive away, man. It's tough. What did Editor Riff do before being your editor? Didn't he have a channel years back? He did have a channel, and believe it or not, still has a channel. Doing the exact same thing that he always has. It's called Pixel Game Squad if you want to check it out. And he was back then and is still currently a city planner. That's his full-time job. He just edits for 4 YouTube channels in his spare time. Like a madman. When would you say is the best time of year to go to pawn shops? Probably summer, because their tax season is crazy. Like tax returns, people literally get their return check, go straight to, they go to the bank and then straight to a pawn shop. I've never understood it. Pawn shops were not really a thing. We didn't really shop at them at all in, although I guess any retail probably sees some surge, but for pawn shops especially, it's huge. So I would wait until they kind of restock from that. Summer to early fall is probably the best buying time. Can you talk about your selling/storage/shipping area? I thought the basement was temporary while you worked on the garage. I thought that initially, but then I realized that I like having a 2-car garage and didn't really want to mess with it. I can't park my cars in the basement. That reason among others. We would have had to do temperature stuff in the garage, and it just would have been a pain. So we just put up with the half flight of stairs for all of our inventory. Talk about the shipping area. So I'll show you guys, and this will probably be the last question that we can take. This is the workstation. You guys have seen it before, I'm sure. We've got all of our supplies right within arm's reach of the shipping station. That's the single biggest thing that we found has increased our shipping efficiency. And we got boxes, poly mailers, we've got tape and bubble wrap, everything just boom, 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 boom. So you can get it all done really quickly. And then our inventory storage, our more long-term inventory storage is over in the hallway over there. Then we have bins here for stuff that's in different part of the process. What's behind me right there is stuff that has not been prepped yet. And once it gets prepped, it goes over to the other side, right over there, and gets sorted onto our lovely inventory homemade shelves that I will get very testy about if you bully me about them. So anyways, thank you guys for coming to this little practice stream here. Hope it's been beneficial for somebody out there. We're going to have the actual live stream Friday this week. First unboxing live stream in literally years. So make sure to mark your calendars for that. I'm going to schedule it in advance on the main channel so that you can, I don't know, like it or set a reminder, whatever. And I think it should be a good time. Hope to see most of you guys there and catch you on the flip.